Hey everyone, David C. Anderson from the KnifeCenter coming at you from the Acta Non Verba booth at SHOT Show 2024. Got some new stuff to talk about, some new variations and some new models here that look pretty exciting. And we're here with Andre to take a look at it. How are you, sir?
Hey, how is it?
Good to see you as always. So let's start with, these two right here, which are sort of extensions of a previously existing model.
Yeah.
But done a little different.
Yeah,
how about this one right here? What's the story behind this knife?
So, as you already carry our P line, which was redesigned last year, and we've swapped the flat piece of G10 for injection molded GRN with polyurethane scales, we wanted to add like a crossover between the M line, which is more military themed, and the P line, which is more utilitarian and bushcrafty and maybe outdoorsy type of product line. We wanted to have like a hybrid between these two worlds.
Sure.
So you would have affordable steel with very comfortable handle and beefy 5.5 millimeter stock and Cerakote all the way in a blade. So that's what the idea was, to give you more durable, more tactical themed fixed blade in more affordable range, which was not previously available in the P line. So that's the idea.
Nice. Well, the injection molding not only helps get that price down, but the shape is so much more comfortable than the flat G10 that used to come.
Yeah.
I mean, check out the shape of that handle and throw it in the hand and it just kind of locks in, feels nice and comfortable.
Yeah.
And throw it on top of this, compact survival blade. It's pretty great. You can work. It's a knife that can, a blade thickness and stock that could work really hard, but not wear your hand out while you're doing it. That's an important thing.
Exactly.
You want your body to work just as hard as the knife does.
And we started adding polyurethane to nylon glass compound that most of the companies are using. So we've added a little bit of polyurethane to dampen down those shocks that might be transferred through that handle.
Okay, interesting.
So you'll realize with this one, it seems like it's hard plastic, but when you bump it against hard surface like a table or another scale, you realize that it's
not
actually
quite so hard.
Yeah, it doesn't ring at all.
Yeah. Put that to the test right now.
Right, and to shatter the glass.
We're not going to do that. Well, cool, man. Yeah, I like the. I definitely liked the change to the contoured handles when you did that. And it's cool to see this blade shape on it.
It's all matter of it's all matter of size of a company and a scale. If we've been able to do it previously, we would definitely do it. But there is a time for things to happen, and we are very, very happy that this is happening. And again, you can configure this to whatever configuration you like. So we have 3 colors of blade and 3 colors of handle, and you can cross over those as you wish.
Nice. The other thing I like about it too is, you said like 5.5 millimeters thickness?
Yeah.
Plenty beefy, but the blade, it seems like you've maintained a certain amount of cutting efficiency there, because you've got that high flat grind and that deep swedge. So the actual, when you're cutting through stuff here, the actual thickness is not going to be that full 5.5, but you've got the strength in the tang that gives you.
Exactly.
Nice.
And it's plenty lightened and pocketed out on the inside of the tang, so you won't suffer with that thickness.
And it gives you real good balance as well.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right, next up, we've got a smaller version of the Anthropoid.
Yes.
So tell me about this.
So, as you already know, the M5 Anthropoid, which is full-size dagger that's been designed to emphasize the original Fabrian Sykes design language, is very large, very beefy, and we've never thought that somebody would actually carry it on person in like a combat situation. But as it turned out, one military police unit out of Czech army that was protecting Czech embassy in Afghanistan was actually carrying those daggers, and they provided us with some feedback on wearability and gave us some points that they would like to see in that knife, the things that they appreciated and things that they were limiting factors for them. And we've boiled those down into this one. So the operation of that Czech military unit was named Kamba. It was the protection of Czech embassy in Afghanistan. And we've named this knife to commemorate that military action. So what you got here is more of a functional. It's still not going to be a knife that you'll take out bushcrafting.
No.
But it's still 6mm of L-Max. It's still very durable, very beefy, but the compact sizing of the handle and the blade will allow you to carry it on the person more practically.
Easier, little closer quarters type of things. It's about a 6-inch blade or just under?
Well, I do millimeters most of the time. No, if I had to guess, so yeah.
Roundabout, yeah.
Yeah.
No, feels good. You still got that heavy texturing on that. That's G10?
Yes, that is G10, and we take pride in that aggressive texture because, I wouldn't put that on like a, survival knife. Yeah. They would destroy your hand.
Yeah, but this is not a knife that you're sitting down for hours doing stuff.
No, you don't want that.
You use it for like 10 seconds, and in that 10 seconds,
if you are working with this, if you are working with this for 3 hours, it's wrong.
You've got bigger problems.
Yeah. Exactly.
For sure. Yeah, well, it definitely holds on very nicely. You've got that punch point at the back, just that apex coming down to the point. Similar style sheath to the original, I'm assuming?
Yeah,
Did they request some changes for that too?
No. I think we got it somewhere in here. It's a self-locking Kydex, as always, with our knives. So, over there. So, there we go.
There you go. 2 loops on the back, MOLLE compatible.
Yeah, exactly. Excellent. You can detach or do whatever with them. Some guys just prefer zip ties and duct tape, so
sure.
Just strip it and mount it wherever.
Well, let's keep with the fixed blades because we got a couple folders to talk about. But this one in particular, before you even told me what it was, this was already catching my eye.
Yeah.
The name of this knife is
M25.
The M25. And you said this is actually in collaboration with another military unit.
Yeah.
But it's not quite a combat unit.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you have a more like general purpose small survival knife type of thing?
Exactly. So with military range that we have, there is always one theme occurring repeatedly, is that we don't really develop M products without request from a specific military unit to begin with. So that's kind of the theme of that lineup. So there is always a backstory, and we don't just do the knife on our own.
Gotcha.
This one is a result of collaboration with a Czech military unit that is anti-aircraft. Anti-aircraft Czech military unit, military force. What is specific about being anti-aircraft unit is that you really don't do too much of a hand-to-hand combat, and you spend a lot of time outdoors, moving around in the field and really preparing yourself for certain situations, gauging and really navigating the terrain that is around you.
So that's you need more of a utility survival.
Exactly. If you are in a hand-to-hand combat, there's a number of things that went wrong with that planning.
That unit.
Yeah, exactly. So I saw opportunity in that collaboration to do something a little bit less combat and more of a utilitarian and bushcraft, maybe survival-ish style. And this is the result. So we have a bunch of features that are very specific to that unit itself. One being a choil for fire steel that is
got the nice crisp edge on there.
Exactly.
And you don't have to ruin the actual edge of your knife.
Exactly.
Nice.
And the second interesting feature is actually the scale on a spine that we have over here.
Okay, so
there is a
interesting. What is that?
Yeah, so there is a small hole in the back, and if you stick like a pin or a piece of wood through there, this will gauge you 20. What is that? It's 250 meters, half a kilometer, 75, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kilometers.
So they're using this as like a sighting tool?
No, not like a sighting like this, but the gauging your perimeter on the map itself. So we know what type of maps and what the scale
of the
map.
Exactly. Okay, cool.
So we've gauged this to the exact scale of a map that they are using.
So they don't need to carry an extra ruler or something
exactly.
else.
Or if they lose it, this will, so just the knife itself and the map will show you what is the range that you are able to operate with.
Right, that's cool.
That's one thing.
What I like about that too is it's added value, it's an added feature, but it doesn't get in the way at all.
It doesn't get in the way, and it
compromises
translates to real-world situation as well. So for your customer, I assume that there is still some people using actual maps and not just the GPS. So this can be actually used in like a real-life situation. And then we have this little guy over here, which looks like a flat piece of screwdriver and is actually amazing for opening beer. But there is an important backstory to that as well. So they don't only do vehicle transported rocket systems, but they do man-operated rocket systems as well. So there would be a crew of 2 or 3 people that would move around and set up a post and then be operational within the range of a certain amount of kilometers around them.
Sure.
And if one of the rockets fail, they need to disarm the fuse of that. And there is a little slot.
A very specific size.
Very specific size of a slot. And you just put this in and turn counterclockwise, I don't know, 45 degrees,
Whatever
and you disarm the rocket.
Interesting.
So, yeah. I mean, you know, beer opener is fair enough.
It's a little broader range. That's really a specific use.
That is a specific use. But yeah, that's the backstory of that detail. I always try to tie that specific product to the military unit that is using it. I want it to be theirs. Sure. So that's kind of it.
That is a super comfortable handle there. Is that linen micarta?
That is, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, check out that handle shape there. You guys definitely are one of the ones that do handle shapes right. You know, it's harder to get right than people think, and you guys get it right. And I love that blade, a little over 4 inches. You know, humped drop point here a little bit, maybe Canadian belt knife-ish.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
High flat grind. That's just a super useful blade.
Yeah, and the thinness of that blade as well.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to have performance of that blade, if you want to have high cutting performance, you just can't do 6 millimeters.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's a different purpose.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. Feels really good. Love the size and shape. Excellent. How about some folders?
Yeah, we can definitely do folders.
Let's start with the new design first. This is the Z70.
Yeah.
Tell me about this.
So I think we've been lacking some of the, or how to put it this way, most of our lineup, as you can see, is really, really tactical and military themed, and which is okay, but we wanted to have something that escapes that design language a little bit. We wanted to have something that is unusual, friendly, less threatening, and to be used by wide range of customers. We wanted to have something playful as well, so we'll be delivering this in a bunch of colors. It'll be, I sometimes call it Skittles. It's just something of a playful product that will communicate with you very nicely in the hand and will not draw too much attention.
Sure.
So if you put this on a table in cafeteria, it doesn't seem like you've brought in submachine gun.
Well, even folded up.
Exactly, it's
even
a pebble.
as a knife person, this does not look particularly knife-like in that closed format.
That's the point.
That's exactly. That's pretty neat.
It's a little pebble that you throw in a backpack or a bag or wherever you want in a car, and it's still very functional. There is a still bit of an edge on there. It's a ball bearing front pivot, hollow pivot as well, so you can stick through a piece of paracord, maybe hanging on like a carabiner or something. And
then it wouldn't even get in the way if you don't have to take it off.
Exactly.
Sleipner steel on this?
Yes, Sleipner steel, cryogenically treated, DLC coated. So it's a full quality and full size, full fat product here, but it doesn't
appear
exactly.
It's friendlier. Yeah.
It tries to be friendlier. Yeah. So double detent slip joints are legal everywhere basically.
And it's a pretty strong detent. Like some of the ones you get out there have varying degrees of stiffness. This one is definitely on the stiffer side, which from a safety perspective, I appreciate that. And you've even got that area where you can have your finger right there. So even if it does,
it's not going to close on you.
It's not going to close. And the pivot point being so far back, it minimizes the travel at the same time. I'm noticing that. So very nicely nicely spec'd out, nicely put together. Very cool.
Yeah, lightweight as well, and really, just this might be a product that you will give to non-knife person.
Sure. Yeah, I could see that. Actually, we didn't mention steel on the other products. Are these all Sleipner steel so far that we've seen?
No. So with this one, it's obviously Sleipner steel because it's in a P line and it's always a Sleipner steel. With M line M500 Kamba, it's LMAX, 62 Rockwell, cryogenically treated, and here Sleipner steel again.
Excellent. All right, let's talk about this right here.
Yeah.
Ultem handled A100, but you were telling me there's something different about the way you guys do Ultem versus the way most folks do Ultem.
Yeah.
That makes it better.
We do it in a much harder way. Obviously, easy approach to Ultem is to be buying sheets and just milling them down to scales, which could be done pretty fast, but we didn't want to do that. I saw potential of that material in injection back, I think a year ago, and started developing with our injection supplier technology that would allow us to inject Ultem on broad scale within the lineup that we have. So we've worked for about a year on that, and now what we've come up with is the same scale that we have on A100 normally done in GRN, now injected in Ultem, where not only that it looks amazing because you don't have mill lines and you don't have to polish it, and it's a really thin crust of that material as well, so it's lightweight yet very durable. But also what we have found out, and we didn't know that this is going to happen, is that durability of the material actually went up. So what we saw on some of the scales that were milled out of piece of Ultem is that they can develop cracks. You know, some pens that were previously made out of Ultem were prone to cracking.
And that's due, you were saying, to something like the stressors that are just inherent in a sheet.
Exactly.
And when you injection mold it, that evens itself out somehow.
Yes. So it's the same thing with the steel. When you roll a steel or when you produce a sheath of Ultem or whatever polymer that you would have, there will be some lateral and what's that other word?
Horizontal.
I don't know. It's just a tension. What's that?
Longitude.
Probably.
We'll go with that.
Just some tension in that. Some stressors in that sheath that will translate to the scale itself. And depending on where it is in the sheath itself, it'll be more or less prone to cracking after the milling. With this one, we've realized that durability of that material actually went up with injection, so now we were able to bend the scales pretty far before cracking, and it didn't develop any cracks like under the screws or when it's being dropped on a concrete floor or whatever, because with normal Ultem scales, there is that danger, that possibility that when you drop it on a concrete floor, it might not survive. So what we are thinking now is that if this material proves itself like it's proving, we've been testing this for a month and it seems amazing, we might introduce that to different products as well.
Very nice.
Yeah. And if everything goes well, we might also be able to shift the color of Ultem towards more of a grayish or more of a colorful scheme as well. So we'll still keep the translucency of that. I think that's the point of material
I think that's why people like it.
Yeah, but we might be able to affect that tint of that material towards more of a civilian, I don't know, it doesn't have to draw too much attention.
Sure. Well, it's cool to see it on this knife if you're unfamiliar with it. Crossbar lock, obviously, reversible clip, reversible thumb stud here with the glow-in-the-dark insert, of course, LMAX steel.
Reversible clip, I don't know if you mentioned that.
3.6 inches, but skinny enough, super easy to carry, super easy to use. Very nice.
And again, available in LMAX and MagnaCut, so we continue to use MagnaCut as well, so depending on availability of the material, it'll be in the stock.
And then last but not least, we've got something that's A little bit in the early stages, you were saying. Still in development, prototyping, but an injection molded version of the metal punch dagger.
Yeah. So we thought it might be interesting to inject this out of GRN with 30% glass and see how that edge geometry holds up. We knew that we had beefy enough stock on that steel version that it might be very, very durable out of GRN as well. So we are thinking about this as more of a one-time use self-defense tool that is extremely lightweight. You can carry it basically anywhere on a person and it really doesn't weigh you down at all.
Right.
And from the testing that we did, this still can do a lot of damage. It's surprising how strong the material actually is.
Right, I mean, you said it when you had that thickness there. You've still got a fairly robust wedge.
Exactly, and those forces translate to the rest of the body pretty nicely, so we haven't seen any cracks within the body itself. It's just the tip that tends to, if you hit really hard surface, tends to collapse a little bit, but it doesn't delaminate, it doesn't do anything weird, so you can reuse this a couple times against even hard surfaces and it's still holding its rigidity and structure. So just to clarify, even though this being GRN, we are always using a mixture of steel powder mixed within the GRN polymer, so this will magnetize, it will ring in airport situation or whatever. So
if you're looking for an undetectable knife, this is not something we usually deal with.
Yeah,
this is not
this is not it. This is very detectable, and really, our purpose is not to do undetectable things. Our purpose is to do lightweight, affordable piece of equipment that you can have on multiple spots. Because when it's affordable and lightweight, you don't care if you got it on your backpack, in your car, on your person,
wherever.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's still got kind of the key feature, of course, from the original.
Yeah, it's
that
exactly
makes it
the
stand
same.
out from other punch daggers out there. Is the center hole being here with two trusses coming forward to the blade. So it's much more stable, less likely to twist and move around when you do make contact.
Exactly. And the forces that are translated from that blade through the body of that knife, let's call it, in the back of your palm. So this will always translate all of those forces against the back of your palm, not into your middle finger. That's not going to happen. Your middle finger is locking the position of that knife, but not getting any hits. That's
very cool.
All
right, folks. Well, that's all we've got to take a look at today here at SHOT Show 24. Keep your eyes out on the KnifeCenter for these items, Acta Non Verba page and our new items page, which you can access from the top of the website pretty much anywhere. You'll see these just as soon as they are available there. Andre, thank you so much, man.
It was a great pleasure.
Always good seeing you. Make sure to check out the rest of our SHOT Show coverage. See you in the next one.